Hare Ram Krishna, Hare Ram Krishna, Hare Ram Krishna. Om Namo Narayana. Today we'll begin with the third session on the series that we have started on analyzing various ascendants. So we have covered Aries and Taurus. Today is the time for Gemini. And for Gemini, we would follow the same strategy, the same framework that we have been following for all of them. So, based on the quality of the Rashi, based on various gunas of the Rashi, we can analyze. We'll analyze based on the relationship of Lagnesh. Lagnesh for Gemini is Mercury. So, Mercury has certain permanent relationship with all other planets, and based on that relationship we can conclude certain things. We can conclude on certain bhavas being good or bad, and how are some planets are inimical and beneficial to Lagnesh. Based on that, what we can say, Lagna's exaltation and debilitation point, what do we conclude based on them? What planets are exalted in Lagna, what planets are debilitated in Lagna, what happens with the other lords, the lords of other houses, if they are exalted or debilitated in the other houses. Based on their exaltation and debilitation point, what can be said about Gemini ascendant? When we superimpose Gemini on Kalpurush Kundali, then what Nasargic qualities we can identify with them? And then finally, what is the result of having all the rashis in various bhavas? Okay, so this is the framework based on which we have been analyzing each and every ascendant. The same we'll do over here also. So before we begin with it, we can start with a small story which is there in Puranas. And this story will be beneficial in understanding the basic nature of Mercury. The basic Mercury, which is the Lagna lord of Gemini, we'll understand some basic understanding of it. So this is what has happened according to Puranas, or it is something that may be happening in some metaphysical plane now also, every moment also. So Jupiter's wife is Devi Tara, and Somadev, that is the god Moon. Moon has abducted Tara from Brahaspati, and on the day of Amavasya, he impregnated her. And she was pregnant with a child when Devatas they fight with Moon and they bring back Tara. But then they found that Tara is already pregnant with a child, and Brahaspati disowns the child, saying that it doesn't belong to him. And everyone asks her, to whom does the child belong? And she is silent, but the child in the womb, he says that he belongs to Moon. He has come from Moon. And this episode, this small story would be beneficial in understanding various nature of the Buddha, because the child is Buddha, and why he happens to be inimical to somebody, or why some planets are inimical to him. Based on this story, we'll be able to conclude. So let's move on with our analysis. So first we'll see the Gemini qualities, and first quality that we have to see is what element is there in the Gemini. Okay, so as we have seen, Aries happens to be fire, Taurus earth, and Gemini is air. Okay, it's a air element. Varna is Shudra, because all the air element rashis, they belong to Shudra. It is dual nature, that means it is movable as well as sthira or fixed. So it has both the qualities of being movable as well as sthira. The symbol of Gemini is a couple, a couple facing each other, talking to each other, or in having a relationship. The age group, based on the age group that we have divided, that for each Rashi, we have assigned a particular age group, and the mentality of that age group is applicable to the people who are born in this Rashi. So for Gemini, it is 10 to 15 years. And based on this attitude, what can be said about these people? So let's analyze the meaning of all these qualities. So Gemini being the air, it shows that the person is, this Rashi is basically intellectual. Okay, because air has the quality of movement, and that movement is actually the sign of intelligence, because intelligence doesn't stand at one place. It keeps on moving, keeps on analyzing things. So that's the basis of the intellectuality. Varna is Shudra. So Shudra Varna basically shows the quality of mind, what is there on the mind, what is the purpose of somebody. Okay, whether it is to be enjoyment is the goal of the life. That's what Shudra quality means. For if somebody has the Brahmanical quality, that means he's seeking he's seeking um, goodness, he's seeking knowledge. Okay, he's knowledge oriented. If you give him books, he'll be more happy. But for a Shudra person, if you give him okay, don't get me wrong, this is not about the caste system that we have. Okay, it is about the pursuit of things in life. For Kshatriya, the pursuit is to gain power. Okay, so even though you are born as nobody, I don't care, you may be born as anybody, but if in on your mind power is the thing that you are seeking every time. Okay, power is the thing that you are seeking, then you are a Kshatriya. Okay, so all these politicians, even the IS officers also, those who inherently want the power, want to subdue the people beneath them. Okay, so they belong to Kshatriya. Those people who are looking for money continuously, they're looking that's their primary goal. Okay, they are Vaishya. Even though they are born as Brahman or somebody else, if they are continuously looking for artha, then they are Vaishya. If they are looking for enjoyment, okay, seeking enjoyment, that's their primary goal. Now uh, you may think that come on, like, I think everyone seeks a bit of all these things, but you have to see what is the primary goal. Okay, it may so happen that the person is primarily seeking money just for the sake of having money. He may not even enjoy it. He may be eating khichdi morning and evening, but he is continuously looking for the money. That's his primary goal. Likewise, if it's a Brahman Rashi, that means this person is looking for knowledge. Okay. He will give more importance to having knowledge than to having power, than to having money, than to having um, than to having the actual materialistic bhogas. Okay. So Varna, based on Varna, Gemini Rashi happens to be a Shudra. That means they are materialistic. Now, based on the dual sign, what we can say. So, dual sign means they are movable and they are fixed also. So, depending on the condition, they can be movable. They will just keep moving. They will uh, uh, they will apply their brain continuously for one thing and the other. But if they have to sit down and be fixed for a certain time, then they can be fixed also. Okay, they can meditate and they can fix on that particular point. So, they are very adaptable because they can be movable as they can be fixed. So that's what dual signs mean. And Oj Rashi, Oj means the odd Rashis. So all the even Rashis are actually feminine qualities. They have a feminine quality, but all the odd Rashis, they are masculine. So masculine means they are outgoing. They go seek out and achieve things. Okay. Whereas feminine Rashis, they are receptive. Okay. They have more feminine qualities. Based on the symbol, what we can say. Okay, so symbol, we see the symbol is a couple facing each other, or a couple having a mating position. Okay, so when they're facing each other, that means it's a communication. They're talking to each other, they're interacting with each other. Okay, they are having a dialogue with each other. That's one meaning of it. And when they are in the mating position as a male female, then it shows that attraction between them. Okay, it denotes the attraction. Then based on the age group, 10 to 15, so 10 to 15 is the time of puberty. And puberty is that age, you can say that before this age the world is different for the boy, for the girl, for a kid. But after puberty the world is different. Okay, suddenly he starts to see the difference in the male and female, and how does the relationship between male and female happen. Okay, that's something, that change happens in this age. Okay, so it he starts to explore this relationship. He starts to understand his sexuality, his body, and how his body, because the hormones have started newly, and that brings about, so that kind of change is the theme of Gemini ascendant people. Okay, and this people of this age, they also interact, they also communicate at all, they also communicate a lot, and they have become adaptable because now they know that not everything they ask for they will get. So they will have to be adaptable, they'll have to be bit practical also right now at this age. So this quality you will see in the Gemini people. Now, just based on being the Nasargic in the Kalpurush Kundali, Gemini is the third house. And being in the third house, and the Lord being Mercury, what all things we can say about Gemini people. So that we'll see. Okay. So third house belongs to the enterprise. It's a parakram bhav. It's for siblings. Okay, so these themes will be recurring in their mind because they will be very enterprising. They'll be very parakrami, very brave. They'll go out and seek things and achieve things. Okay, third house is also for the couple in mating. So it's the house of mating also. Okay, couple facing each other. They are talking to each other. They are having relationship. Okay, and it is the house of communication. Mainly it's the house of communication. Now you will say, well, if it is house of communication, what does the house of second house was for? Okay, so second house is for the speech, but using that speech to communicate effectively so that you can reach out to people. Okay, you understand people, and you immediately you understand what he's thinking, and so using that speech to communicate, that's third house. Okay, so all these themes are very common to Gemini ascendant people. Okay, Mercury is also high intelligence. Okay, Mercury is Buddha, and Buddha stands for high intelligence. Okay, Buddha is the most intelligent because they look for learning. Okay, they are continuously in the mode of learning. Okay, and as we have seen in that story in the Puranas, that the Tara did not speak, but he spoke from the womb itself that I belong to moon. Okay, so that shows that he's more communicative, he's more expressive. Okay, and he has the guts to speak out the truth. That so that's what the parakram and the communication. If you combine both of them together, that's what you will come to understand. Okay, and it's a high intelligence because they continuously learn, and they are always keen on learning new things. And why they are keen on learning new things? So Tara even though Buddha belonged to moon, and Jupiter hated it because he initially disowned it, but eventually he accepted Mercury, he accepted Buddha as his disciple. So Jupiter is the guru, he is the pinnacle of guru, and Mercury is the pinnacle of being disciple. And being a disciple, he wants to learn everything from Guru. Okay. And when you learn everything, you are obviously intelligent. That's why you're learning new things. And the speaking skills, the expression, all these qualities are common in Buddha. They are humorous and they are gentle. So Mercury is a Soumya planet. So these people are very gentle, and they talk. They believe that it is the talking that can fix things. Okay, so they will get people together. They will be non-violent, non-aggressive. They will say, "चलो बैठ के बात करते हैं." So they will not go and fight with somebody. They will get other peoples to talk on a common ground and achieve arrive at a solution. That's their nature. And the flip side of this is that Mercury is one of the fastest planet after Moon in the chart, and being a fast planet and being closest to Sun, it it most of the time it retrogrades. Okay, it goes beyond Sun up to certain degrees. I think 45 degrees or something, and after that it has to come become Vakri and come back again, and then it goes beyond 45 degrees, then it comes back. So that kind of thing happens several times throughout the year. Okay, that means what? Sometimes he will move in this direction, sometimes he will move in the reverse direction. That means sometimes he will think about doing something, and sometimes he will not think about, he will think about the opposite thing. So that will keep his mind wavering across. He'll not be able to decide on things. Okay, this shows that they lack the self confidence, because they have multiple thoughts continuously running without arriving at anything. Okay, and this could also be one of the side effect of learning a lot of things. Okay, because when you learn a lot of things, you become analytical. Okay, so there is a concept in psychology called analysis paralysis. They keep on analyzing something, they go deeper into all the possibilities, and eventually they do not do anything. So that kind of analysis paralysis situation is possible with Gemini people. Okay, they will analyze, overanalyze without arriving at the solution. Okay, that gives him the impression of being indecisive. Now let's look at the relationship of Lagnesh. Okay, so Lagnesh, the Lagna Lord Mercury, is also the Lord of fourth house. Okay, so something about the fourth house will come into picture. He is friends with Sun and Venus. He is neutral with Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu. He is enemy to Moon. Why enemy to Moon? Um, because Moon, he was the illicit father. Okay, he abducted his mother, and the story that goes on. Okay, so obviously Moon is the only one to whom Mercury is inimical. So the Lagna Lord is also the Lord of fourth house, and fourth house stands for mother. It stands for learning. It stands for scholarship. Okay, scholarship in the sense, in Sanskrit it is called Panditya. That means a person who learns everything. He learns the Shastras, Vedas, and all the knowledge in the world. Okay, but scholarship and intellectual is different thing. Okay, the Jupiter is the real wise person, but Mercury is the scholar. Okay, he will know everything which is there in the books, but he may not be the wisest person. He's keen on learning, that's why he knows a lot of things. Okay, and some theme of mother will come always, because Mercury hated his mother. So there is a possibility. And see, and Lagna Lord is also exalted in the fourth house. Gemini Mercury is exalted in Virgo. Okay, so there is a chance of having two mothers. Okay, this is one result that comes several times in the classics, that such people will have two mothers. Okay, why two mothers? Because Mercury will he will hate his mother, but to get that motherly love, he may look for some other place. So that way he may get two mothers. Is friends with Sun and Venus. Uh, he may think Sun as the friend, but Sun treats him neutrally. Okay. So for Mercury, Sun is the third house. So Sun happens to be the siblings, but siblings will treat him neutrally. Okay. Mercury and Venus, they are mutual friends. Now he's neutral to Mars. Now, this is interesting. You see, Mars happens to be the Lord of 6th and 11th house. Okay. 11th house is for friends, and 6th house is for enemies. And he is neutral to both of them. That means he will judge everyone with equal eyes, the friends or enemies. He'll be even to both. Okay. So that's one quality of Mercury. So while deciding, he will treat them equally. Okay. He will not hate his enemies. And Mercury shies away from Mars. Okay. What does this mean? Mercury is neutral to Mars, but Mars is inimical to Mercury. Let's keep that in mind. Mercury will be neutral to Mars. That means Mars is what? Mars is are the people who are violent. So you must have seen the person who is analytical and who says, "Let's come on the table and talk through this problem." And there are some people who will immediately catch each other's collar. They will start fighting. Okay, physically they'll start fighting. So the person who talks on the table, if he sees people fighting, he may just shy away. Okay, he'll just ignore them because he doesn't want to get into the fight. Okay, and when Mars people see the people who talk, they will say this guy must be he must be hiding something, or he is um, in Hindi they say chalu. Okay, that he's very glib, he's very chalu person. He will talk smoothly to everyone, he'll talk friendly to everyone because he wants to get something out of it. So Mars people will hate Mercury people. Okay, because Mercury people, they are friendly to everyone, they want to be friendly to everyone. And Mars people will think that we are so straight and normal, we always speak our heart out, but these guys, these Mercury people, they will talk sweetly to everyone because they want to get into the good books of everyone. Okay, so that is the relationship between Mercury and Mars. Okay, and even though Mercury is neutral to Jupiter, but Jupiter hates Mercury, and which is for obvious reason, because Mercury is the stepchild of Tara, of Jupiter. Saturn is friendly to Mercury. Mercury thinks that Saturn is neutral, but Saturn will treat him as a friendly. Now Saturn see, Mercury also stands for child. Okay, kids, teenagers. And Saturn stands for people who are above 60. Okay, old people. So there is a special kind of bonding between old people and the small kids. Okay, the old people will like small kids. Okay, so that based on that concept, we can say that Saturn is friendly towards Mercury. And Mercury hates Moon like anything, but Moon considers him as a friend. So this is a very special kind of relationship. Okay, we'll explore further what all results we can get out of these complicated relationships of Mercury. Now let's look at the exaltation and debilitation of Lagnesh. Okay, so Lagnesh is exalted in the Sukha Bhava, which is the fourth house, which is Virgo, and Lagnesh is debilitated in the Pisces, which is the Karma Bhava. So just based on this, you can jump to the conclusion that being a Gemini person, you will love your comfort more than the actions, because fourth house is what where you are exalted, where you are excited to be, and 10th house is where you hate being there. It is the karma bhava, it is the action. So you will love your comfort than action. Fourth house also stands for the learning. Okay, So you must have seen some people, if you give them some project, then what they will do, they will just keep on learning new things, new things, new things about that project, but they will not even start a first step. Okay. These are the Mercury kind of people. So they, because they are exalted in the fourth house, they are exalted in the fourth house of Virgo, so they will just keep learning. But they will not even start, not even put the first step forward in the karma bhava. Okay. So they are exalted in the fourth house. So fourth house is for learning. So they love scholarship. That means they are learning new things continuously, learning new books, new concepts, very keen on education. Fourth house also stands for land. Okay. And especially Mars, which is the Karaka for land, is in the 11th house Lord. So it shows that these people will have land. Okay, because the Karaka is also there, and and the fourth house is also where Mercury is exalted. Success in the motherland, because fourth house stands for the motherland also, the place where this person belongs. He will become successful over there, or at least he wants to be successful in the place where he's born, in that village, in that district, in that state, in that country. That's what the fourth house means. Okay. They get the support of own people, because fourth house is the own people. Comfort, luxury, conveyance, learning. So all these are the karakatwas of the fourth house. So they are very excited about comforts. They are very keen on pursuing luxuries and having various kinds of conveyances. Okay. Fourth house also stands for the house where they stay. Okay, so they like to remain indoors. Okay, so if you ask such people whether you want work from home, work from office, they will say work from home, because they like to be indoors. Fourth house is the home. They will have two mothers. Why two mothers? Because Mercury is the enemy to Moon, and Mercury is exalted in Virgo, which is the fourth house. Okay, so he will hate his mother, and he will seek motherly love from somewhere else, and that somewhere else, Virgo is also Dvisvabha Rashi, which is Ubhaya Rashi. So there is a possibility of having two mothers or two motherly figures in the life of such people. Okay. What is the omens of success? Omens of success are basically the Rashi where this planet is exalted. You have to see what all the karakatvas of that Rashi, what all significations are that Rashi. Okay, what things represent that Rashi. So Virgo represents the virgin girl. Okay, so if you are going on, if you are going somewhere for certain project or certain activity, and if you see young girls, then that's a good omen. It's an omen for success. If you see the green fields which are ready to be plow or ready to be harvested, that shows the success. Now let's look at the debilitation. Okay, so debilitation happens in the 10th house. 10th house stands for workplace. 10th house also stands for people of high authority. Okay, so when they are in close proximity with the people of high authority, they become nervous. Okay, because they are debilitated in the 10th house. King. Okay, 10th house is the place of the king, place of the high authority, influential people. So these people, influential people, high authority people, royal, kingly people, if they are in close proximity, they will feel like nervous. If you give them a leadership position, then also they become nervous, because 10th house, where they have to be accountable for something, they have to be accountable for their jobs, and they are in the high position, then they'll start feeling nervous, because that's where they are debilitated. Okay. Action. If you give them something to learn, they will keep learning, but if you tell them to do the action, they will feel fidgety, they will feel nervous, they will not like it. What are the omens of failure? If they think about ocean, sea beach, conch shells, fishes, all these are symbols of Pisces. So that's where they become, that shows the omens of failure. So if you are going towards some project and they suddenly get reminded of ocean or fishes, then it may indicate that they are heading towards failure. Now, planets which are exalted and debilitated in the Lagna. So, who is exalted in the Lagna? So, Rahu is exalted, and Rahu's characteristic will appear, will start appearing. Uh, what is the main characteristic of Rahu? Rahu basically makes the person materialistic. It will make him tend toward the worldly affairs. So these people are materialistic. Also, it's a Vaishya Rashi. It's a Shudra Rashi. So that also shows that person is more interested in having bhoga, having happiness, having materialistic pleasures. So that shows, that also corroborates with the materialistic Rahu. They are conceited and crafty. Okay. So Rahu shows that Rahu wants to be sun. Okay. Sun is the real power. Sun is the real self, and conceit is something which is shadow of the self. You have seen the shadow is usually bigger than the actual body, so that shadow is the Rahu. Okay, and that conceit, that extra ego that one gets, that's because of the exalted Rahu in the Lagna. And also Rahu is also crafty. He can, because Rahu is the one who did um, he did cheat to basically get that Amrita. So that shows that that crafty nature also comes from Rahu's exaltation. Bhavesh, exaltation and debilitation. So now we'll see various bhavas, various planets which are exalted and debilitated at those axes, and what does it mean for them. So Saturn is exalted in the fifth house. Saturn is exalted in Libra and debilitated in the 11th house, which is Aries. Venus. Venus is exalted in the 10th house in Pisces, and they are debilitated in the 4th house. Sun is exalted in the 11th house and debilitated in the 5th house. Now let's analyze what all these things mean. Okay. So Saturn, what is Saturn in the chart of a person with Gemini Ascendant? He is the ninth lord, and he's exalted in the 5th house. Okay. And he's exalted in the 5th house. Fifth house is what? Your mental disposition. What is there on your mind? That is the 5th house. And ninth lord is the dharma, and he's exalted over there. So that shows that you are religious. Venus is also the lord of 12th house. So Venus is connecting 5th house, 12th house, and the ninth house, making that this person is religious and he is ready to donate. Okay, he donates openly. So that's what Saturn shows in the exaltation in the 5th house. Venus exalted in the 10th house, but debilitated in the 4th house. Okay, now what does this mean? So so he's able to interpret others thoughts. Okay, why how can he understand everyone's thought? Okay, so that's because, see, Venus is the lord of 5th house. 5th house is the mantresh, and 5th house is the house of mantra, and it shows what is on your mind. Okay. um 5th house is basically, uh, and since it is exalted in the 10th house, that means you have some special ability about, it's a very good thing. See, first of all, the 5th and 10th, 5th is the dharma trikona and 10th is the earth trikona, and 10th house is the kendra. 10th house is the action, and what action you are doing, you are able to have proper control of your mind. Okay, so it gives you some extraordinary ability to basically understand others thoughts because of that special faculty of 5th house being exalted in the 10th house. Okay, now Venus is also the 12th house, 12th lord. Okay, because it lords the Taurus also, and this is exalted in the 10th house. That means uh, this person will gain respect, will gain honor by spending and donating. So he'll donate and he'll get respect and honor. So that's how the relation of 10th and 12th house going to be. He'll study Vedas and Shastras. Now, why will he study Vedas and Shastras? So you see, for Gemini people, Jupiter and Venus, they both are Guru and they both are well placed. Venus is the fifth lord and he is exalted in the 10th house. Jupiter, which is the seventh and 10th lord, exalted in the second house. So all, both the gurus are favorably placed. And when gurus are favorable, the person will naturally be inclined towards learning Vedas, naturally be inclined towards learning the ancient knowledge and Shastras. Okay. Plus, this guy, Mercury, is always keen on learning. He's exalted in the fourth house. So he will study Vedas and Shastras. Okay. Uh, what he learns is denoted by these the position of Jupiter and Venus, how these gurus are actually there in the chart. Okay. Now Venus is debilitated in the fourth house. It shows intolerant kids. Okay. So fifth house stands for children, and they are debilitated in the fourth house. So that debilitation in the fourth house shows that something about the kid that you don't like. Okay, so that shows intolerant kids. Plus, also Saturn is exalted in the fifth house, so some Saturnine quality is coming to the kids. So something bad about the fifth house is going to happen because Saturn is over there, and also they are debilitated in the fourth house. So something about the kid is not liked. Okay, you do not like something about the kids. Sun exalted in the 11th house. Okay. Sun is the third lord and he's exalted in the 11th house. So, more he's brave, more he will learn, he will earn because third is the house of Parakram and 11th is the house of gains. Okay. So, जितनी बहादुरी दिखाएगा उतना ज़्यादा पैसे कमाएगा. But what is the flip side? The flip side is more he earns, more he loses the mental peace because Sun is debilitated in the fifth house. Okay. So this is the interpretation of Sun being exalted in the 11th house and debilitation in the fifth house. So fifth house is the mental peace. Where Sun is debilitated, that means more bravery you will show, and you will become mentally, you lose the peace. We'll continue with other exaltations. So Moon is exalted in the 12th house. So Moon is the lord of second house, and he's exalted in Taurus, and he's debilitated in the sixth house. Okay. Mars is exalted in the 8th house, but Nietzsche in the second house. Jupiter is exalted in second house and Nietzsche in the 8th house. Okay, now let's see. So Moon is exalted in the 12th house. So when 12th house becomes stronger, then it shows that the wealth could be coming from the foreign sources. Okay, so this you can predict. So earlier I also said that this person will get support from the place where he's born. He want to be successful in the motherland. And now I'm saying that he will get gains from the foreign sources. If he goes to foreign country, he'll get gains. Why I'm saying, see, Moon is the lord of wealth, lord of second house, lord of earth trikona, and he's exalted in the 12th house. So if Moon is good, then moving to outside the country, moving to the away from the place of birth, that will be beneficial for him, for his savings. But if Moon is not good, then in that case, Moon shows the conflict with the family. Why? Because second house is also for the family. Second house is also for the speech. So second house, second lord, debilitated in the sixth house. That shows that enmity with the family. Okay. And since it is debilitated in the sixth house stands for the maternal relatives. Okay. So there could be enmity with maternal uncle. There could be conflict with the family because second house of family, it is there debilitated in the sixth house. So if moon is weak in such people's chart, then it shows that the person will be having some conflict with the family. Mars is exalted in the eighth house. Okay, so eighth house is for longevity. So if Mars is good, then such people will have good longevity. And Saturn is already the Karaka of longevity, is already the ninth house of production. So there will be longevity. But if the Mars is weak, where does it get weak? It gets weak in the second house. Second house is for wealth, saving, appearance, and food. So if Mars is weak in the chart, then it will reduce the wealth, it will reduce the savings, it will reduce the appearance. Okay, person may look fierce, he may lose the access of good food. Jupiter is exalted in the second house and debilitated in the eighth house. Now, Jupiter is what? Jupiter is the seventh house lord. Seventh house is the husband. Seventh house is the marriage. Seventh house is the business partner. So he's debilitated in the eighth house. That means that when the time of marriage comes, he is Nietzsche in the eighth house, then something will happen which will obstruct the marriage. Okay. Or seventh house stands for business partners also. So if he goes and starts some business, and at the time of starting the business, something will come which will go and obstruct it. Okay. So because Mars is also exalted over there, so it must happen that some police case happens, some police people come whenever he starts a marriage. So that kind of trouble is possible. Exaltation in the second house. Now, seventh house, the Lord, the husband, the wife, the spouse, seventh Lord, he's exalted in the second house of family. That means he will your spouse or your spouse or husband, wife, he will love your family. Okay, he will like your family, but he's debilitated in the eighth house. That means he will hate his family. Okay, he will like your family more than his family. That's what it shows. Then the 10th lord exaltation in the second house. Oh, Jupiter is also the 10th house. Okay, 10th house lord, because it rules the Pisces also, and it gets exalted in the second house. And second house, 10th house, they are linked together. So you see 2, 6, 10. This is the Earth Trikona. Okay, it shows that Earth Trikona is particularly strong. Okay, and Earth Trikona is strong, but this person will do the hard work and he will earn respect. He'll be honorable in the society. He will do things which will bring the honor to the family. Second house, 10th house is the honor, and second house is the family, and the linkage of this you can see. Okay, now we can see uh, what is this what are the results when certain houses fall in certain rashis. Okay, so for Gemini person, second house happens to be Cancer, third house Leo, fourth house Virgo, fifth house Libra, sixth house Scorpio. Now let's see the result. So for second house, um, one result which is shown in Shastras is that they will have round eyes, beautiful eyes. Why? See, second house also belongs to um, the eyes in the body. Okay. And second house being ruled by luminary, sun and moon. Now, sun is the Krura, but moon is the Saumya. So, being ruled by the luminary, it shows that the eyes will be beautiful, eyes will be round. Okay. Moon, okay. Moon is the Soma, and Soma nourishes the herbs, the plants. It is said that during the day they grow, and during the evening they get nourished. Okay, so moon provides the nourishment to plants and herbs. So second house is also for food. So that means these people will like to have various kinds of herbs, various kinds of plants, and Cancer also shows the forest. So various forests produce like tubers and shakarkandi and honeybees, honey, all the produce that happens from the forest. So they will basically like to have it because it's in the house of food. Okay. They will earn wealth lawfully. Okay, because second is the house of moon, where Jupiter is exalted. So the saving is something that has been earned lawfully. So Jupiter is the sattvic planet. Third house. Third house is Leo, and Leo is ruled by Sun, which is Akrura. Okay, and that makes him fearless. Why fearless? Because if third house is ruled by a Krura planet, that means you go out in the world and you are a brave person. A brave person has third house as a Krura. Okay, you'll go and you'll destroy the enemies, because in front of Sun nobody stays. Okay, Sun can destroy anybody. That destruction, that power of destruction comes from the blessing of Ma Durga. Okay. Why? Because the sixth lord, who is the sixth lord for Gemini? It's the Mars. Mars shows the enemy, and where he is debilitated. He is debilitated in the Cancer, second house. And second house is for mother, the moon. And who is the mother? Mother is the Ma Durga. So with the blessing of Ma Durga, even the sixth house enemies, they are also destroyed. They are debilitated. Fourth house, Virgo, we already discussed several times, stands for two mothers. Fifth house. So fifth house is also for uh, what you like and what you dislike. Fifth house is ruled by Venus, and Venus shows all the art forms. So they have a liking for dance, music, and various art forms, because obviously fifth house is ruled by Venus. They are fond of ornaments, they are fond of beautification, because Venus shows the ornaments, Venus shows the beautification of self, beautification of things around also. Venus also shows the garments and fashion and all those things. So that can also be added to the list. Sixth house. Sixth house is ruled by Scorpio, and sixth house is ruled by Mars. Mars hates Mercury. That means these and Moon is debilitated in the sixth house. So these two things combined, you can say that they will lack support of maternal side, because sixth house is for maternal side, and they are strictly hating Mercury, as well as the Moon, the mind, is debilitated in the sixth house. So that means there is some sort of conflict with the sixth house, with the maternal side. Okay, there could be danger from sixth house is also for rogue. So some kind of insect bite is possible, serpent bite is possible. Scorpio is also for the thieves, so he may get mugged. Now, seventh house comes in Sagittarius, eighth house in Capricorn, ninth house in Aquarius. So let's see the result. Okay. So for seventh house Sagittarius, the result has been given as the wicked spouse who is very quarrelsome. Now, this is a bit strange, because you may think that seventh house is Sagittarius, being ruled by Jupiter. So why should it be wicked? Jupiter is such a good planet. But the thing is that to analyze it, you have to see from the perspective of Sagittarius. Now, if you put Sagittarius as the Lagna, you'll see that Saturn and Rahu, they are the third house. Okay. The third house is your bravery, your going out, your Parakram Bhav. And your Parakram Bhav has Saturn and Rahu. That means you go and do anything. So you are basically quarrelsome. You go and fight with the world. And second and third house. Second is also ruled by Saturn, where Jupiter is getting debilitated. So that means his speech is also bad. Okay. Fifth house, fifth lord is again Mars, which is for mental peace. So there is no mental peace also. So all these qualities, if you combine, you can say that the person is foul mouthed, wicked, quarrelsome. So these possibilities are there, especially when Jupiter is weak and Saturn, Rahu are, and such malefics are disposed such way. Eighth house of Capricorn, There could be trouble during marriage. We already discussed that because seventh lord is debilitated in that eighth house. Ninth house of Aquarius. So ninth house is the Aquarius. Aquarius in Sanskrit is Kumbha. Kumbha means all the water sources. Okay. It is ruled by Saturn. Saturn means the general public. S- Ninth house is the house of the person's goals, his religiousness, his righteousness. So he will think that doing things for public is actually being righteous, is the way of life, is the goal of life. And for that, what he'll do, he will plant trees in the public area so that it is good for everyone. He will bore wells. He will make the arrangement for water, something which is useful to all the general public. And especially when both the gurus are so well placed, their lordship are so good, that means the karakatwas of dharma is fine. And Saturn now rules the Saturn represent the general public, so such people will have disposition towards having um, having good usage of resources for general public. Okay. Saturn also shows the discipline and rigidity. So if in their family they have been following certain religion, like Shaiva is for worshipping Shiva, Vaishnava is for Vishnu, Shakt for Durga, Saur for sun god, Ganpati for Ganeshji. So if in their family they have been following certain religion, certain sect, then they will also continue to follow it. Coming to the last house, 10th, 11th, and 12th. 10th house is Pisces, 11th is Aries, and 12th is Taurus. So 10th house is the Earth Trikona, and Earth Trikona with exaltation of Jupiter in the second house, that makes him very strong. And Venus, fifth lord, exalted in the 10th house. So you see, the Earth Trikona is mainly water, and even the planets which are there, they are also watery. Venus is watery planet, exalted in the watery sign. Moon is the watery planet. He is the lord of second house. So a lot of water element is there in the Earth Trikona. That means they will have wealth from the sources of water. Okay. 11th house, Aries. Sun is exalted over there. 11th house is the house of gains. So they will have lot of gold. Mars is the lord of 11th house. Mars is the Karaka of land. So he will have lot of lands. He will gain through lot of lands. 11th house Aries represents quadrupeds because it's sheep and goat. So all these quadrupeds, there could be gains from there also. Since sun is exalted over there, so through king or serving the king, there is a possibility of gains. 12th house of Taurus. Taurus, 12th house means spending on things represented by Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus shows the company of women, spending on garments, spending on ornaments. Moon is exalted over there, so metals which represent moon, like silver, it will show the source of spending in these areas. Okay, that's all I had. Thank you so much for watching. Let's see you in the next video. Om Namo Narayana. Namah Shivaya.